Live streaming is on.
We're live with Gamechanger, talking about DReps. DReps, this is a Cardano thing. It's governance, representative delegates, or delegate representations, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to toss the mic over to Martin, who's going to walk through this and with Adriano's assistance. But this was something that we put together. Pseudoscientist here is on the call with us, and he also created his own QR code. So with that, Martin, what are you working on?
Hey, everybody. Well, we're going every Tuesday now doing a session about Gamechanger and scripting. Scripting wallets are all the rage, so it's awesome to work on. And also, well, governance is also going on, so we're going to dedicate this session to voting with Gamechanger scripts. So let's get into it. Right, Adriano, can you give us a little idea? Because I have the docs open now and the playground to test a script. I modified the Pay1 ADA script a little bit to get something started, but maybe there's something that needs to be added. Do you need to have a transaction for signing a certificate?
Yes, that's right, Martin. Hi, hey everybody. So yeah, well, I mean, there are a lot of governance-related features that when we talk about vote delegation to a DRep, it's all about using a specific type of certificate, a new certificate that is available on Cardano. So what we need to do is to continue to use the certificates features that we have on the Cardano transaction, meaning that if we just create a transaction, just including a vote delegation certificate to the DRep, we are delegating our votes. We are participating on governance. An indirect participation. You are very encouraged to do a direct participation on governance. Be my guest. So what you need to do, Martin, is to use this certificate feature on transactions. Do you want to go? Do you want to lead, or do you want me to tell you?
I was trying to think about how that will work. So I was thinking about building a transaction, but I mean, if you can explain me how to include the certificate in this transaction, would I need to make this transaction first and then include it, or is it part of the transaction itself?
No, it has to be. I mean, it's part of the transaction, but certificates are like a data structure that you need to craft before. You need to build before this certificate prior to include it on the transaction. I mean, this is on our API, right? So
I can create stage 0 to make a certificate.
Yeah, you can. I'm sharing you on the chat. You can use that. To include certificates on the transaction builder, you need to just use the certificates argument or property and pass there a list or a map of certificates. Yeah. You have it on the chat, an example, which is broken because it's linking to a certificate that is not yet built. But it is the first step. Like, you start from the basics. The basic is the transaction itself. You need to include there Yeah,
So I need to add this to the transaction, like so.
exactly. And it's just one more feature. So for people that are new to Cardano or don't get this yet, the beauty of Cardano is that you can combine a lot of transaction features at the same time. Um, Meaning that you can, for example, as you have there, you can make a payment and you can make a, I mean, you can make a, you can send, for example, assets to a different address while you're delegating. Which actually, what we are doing accidentally here is the registration for the 2025 Builder Fest, which requires to pay a fee to an address while you delegate to a DRep. So congratulations, Martin. You accidentally are solving this. But there is an issue in the code. The certificates property
I don't
goes,
have this yet in my cache.
yes, but the certificates property goes inside the transaction definition. It goes inside the nested inside the TX.
Right. So it's one of the outputs.
Yeah, no, it's at the same level of the outputs.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. So now we need to build this certificate. To build the certificate, and you were exploring this some minutes ago on the documentation, you need that API, the one on the docs.
So I have type and I have name.
You can or you cannot use name. If you use name, what you will be instructing to the wallet is to remember to record this certificate as a workspace artifact. Artifacts or workspaces have a name property. Name is like an ID, right? Like an internal ID. Every time
So
you create structures and you put a name on them, you will be storing these generated artifacts or data, pieces of data. You will be storing those as part of your workspace. Just
so
some,
this name
yeah.
this name I highlight here needs to be the same as what is ending up in my cache, right?
Um, it can be anything. You can put any name, any name.
But
Um,
these, if I refer to the cache, what is generated, that will be the same. Need to be the same to refer to that one.
no, there is a difference between the like the property name that you use to access the cache with, for example, the get function, and this name property. This name property is something more internal that has to do with workspaces.
Oh,
It's something unrelated,
different.
which you can relate later, but right now it's unrelated. I mean, it has nothing to do. When
So
you run this, you will notice that now, from now on, because you have used the name property there, on the DRep connector UI, you will receive an artifact named as you have named it, like vote, and will be a certificate. Okay. So for the
so
certificate,
is that this one?
yeah, that those properties, those property names are what you use for the cache for
Yes,
access.
that would
Yeah,
be actually need to be like this to
yeah.
work.
I mean, it can be different. Remember, the vote there word you're using, the name you're using, it's an arbitrary naming, and it can be different from the name property. Those are different things. What you
Yeah.
need right now, what you need is the not the name property, but what you did in the last notification to name vote to that. that object, JSON object. That's right, because then we can link to that result with the get function using the vote keyword.
Okay, yeah, we'll check it later.
Okay, so for the certificate, you need to define the certificate. So
Right.
for that,
And that's it's a list or not?
you need to it's an object. Basically, it is an object that has a kind property.
Right.
Yeah, have all the supported certificates. Good finding. There you have the stake registration, stake deregistration, stake delegation, vote delegation. So that one exactly, that's the one we will be using. And if you check the definition of that, if you check the kind property, is a constant, which is vote delegation. Exactly.
So, right.
You do kind vote delegation.
Okay, but how does it work with certificates? Because I have not, my wallet is not. Am I always standard voter? Because it's on chain. Is it now something that is automatically associated with my wallet?
Yes, I mean, I don't understand what you said about your wallet. Did not hear
Well,
it. Sorry, but I mean, once this transaction with this vote delegation certificate hits the chain and gets validated and it then becomes part of the chain, yeah, you have delegated your vote, your voting power.
right. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to find a DRep, is my idea, and we're trying to delegate our vote to a DRep. Is that our task at the moment?
Yes.
That sounds so. Everything then, if our certificate is sent or linked to the DRep by this transaction, so we have delegated our vote. Everything the DRep then does is, we are supporting.
Exactly. We are endorsing everything he's voting for um, through our indirect participation, our voting power delegation to him, to her, to it. It can be a script, it can be a bot. I would love to have a bot, an
The
AI driven
AI
DRep
bot.
or army of DReps. I'm totally, I mean, if somebody do this, please let me know. Yeah.
So this one has more items.
Yes, because some kind of certificates with just defining the kind, you are okay. You don't need more properties or more arguments for properties for this. But in this case, you need you need to pass extra arguments. The arguments you need to pass here is the hash of the key of the DRep or the hash of the script of this DRep,
Yeah.
depending if it's a Bluetooth or script, I don't know, script based.
So who do we like? Who do we like as a DRep?
One clarification before this response. There are two other kinds of DReps that are constants, that there is nobody exactly behind them, but the chain itself. And that is the always abstain and the no confidence, always no confidence vote delegation. When you vote for these DReps, like system defined DReps, you're actually saying that you're abstaining from the from the voting process. Your voting power won't be delegated to somebody, or you don't have confidence on. Can you explain better this no confidence? Maybe you know exactly more about the political implication of the no confidence vote.
It's my understanding that the no confidence, it is a no vote, but it's also, and here, sort of scientists, you may be able to assist with this explanation. The no confidence also has implications to the Constitutional Committee, where it would, if there was a threshold met of people voting no confidence, it would vacate the the committee. But I need to confirm that. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. It was. Hey, Gabe, go on.
Yes, so the vote of no confidence would be a no confidence on the CC. And this is essentially saying that the entire body of the CC is compromised. And this essentially disbands the entire CC. So the implications is that all governance proposals now halt, because there is no body to approve the constitutionality until a new CC is elected. So essentially, governance proposals on Cardano halts until the CC is reinstated.
Look at this.
Perfect explanation.
Spain.
Thanks again.
So if you want to have like a vote and you want to say always no confidence, you would need to do the following. You would need to make another object and say kind and you could say kind
Yeah, down below. Down below you have the constant value.
is that, am I this way doing it right?
I think you are, but remember that you can always run and see if we are messing with something.
But
So-
shouldn't we first find somebody to hash, because that will fail all. No.
There are two things here involved, two hashes. One hash is the hash of the address, the address containing the balance, which will be the voting power that you are trying to delegate. So you need to have that explicitly added to the certificate, otherwise it's the protocol don't know where is coming this voting power from. So you need to use that staking key hash or staking script hash, which is that one you have there already. Almost.
Who's that? Is that the pseudoscientist? It's a
No,
self-promotion.
Remember, there are two things. One thing is that the voting power owner, and the other one is the destination of that voting power, which in this case, if Gabe has, Gabe, do you have a DRep on pre-prod?
Not on pre-prod.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is mainnet. It will fail.
Okay, I can make one real quick.
Okay, if you want.
Really? Is
You
it?
know-
Or
is
we
it-
can just do the no confidence, I think, as a default. Probably is a good one. Just to
Okay, let's start with the no confidence. Yeah.
If you have no confidence, you don't need no pubkey hash hacks.
Yeah,
Is that-
exactly. The second hash involved, the one of the DRep, if you're using no confidence option or the always abstain option, you don't need to pass any other hash.
So, yeah, what I like to do is just start simple and check out what happens without anything.
But you can always do step by step. When you have a complex code that you don't want to run everything, you can just go step by step and you interrupt.
Yeah, but I like to make it manual. You
Okay.
could do that, of course, but
Guys, you know how to go step by step, right? Let's explore these stuff
we
here.
can
And
we
like
can do
coding.
both, but it's very clear now also. So
Okay.
we're voting no confidence. Code has errors. No.
Okay, what's going on? Cert. The error is on. Okay. Okay, let's check the code. Let's see what's going on.
Code has errors, but it's in it's in this it's somewhere in here. Right.
Okay, let me check example.
So
Kind is at the same level of code. And inside the vote is code. We have another kind. Okay, let me see the code. Um, yeah, there is something odd. You have type and cert. Inside cert, you have to have kind, vote delegation, and the vote definition. Type and cert. Inside cert, have the kind and the vote definition. Inside vote, you have to have the kind, no compliments. Okay, just in cases, can you remove the name? Can you remove the name property? I want to check something.
yeah, maybe that's not.
Yeah, and if this is the reason, maybe it's a JSON schema issue regarding some configuration on that JSON schema, which is something common that happens sometimes. It's like it's probably getting too strict. No, it's not. Great, better then. Kind of delegation. No.
Maybe we do need the pub key hash or something. Type certificate.
Let me see. Did you pass your key hash?
Extras.
Did you pass?
No,
No,
I
did you not solve that? That's probably wrong. I forgot to insist you with that. Remember, there are two key hashes involved: yours and the other one. You're not. Yeah, that's the issue. Most likely.
So I do need pub key hash.
Yeah, I told you. You need your key hash from your address, but not the DReps one.
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. You're not. But I am very destructive all the time. I'm not the best
No, well,
code valid.
it's we do this for the first time, so I'm learning.
You don't know how much you're helping others learn too in the process, because people stumble around this much worse. So Yeah, this is very representative of other people struggling on the other end. So I think
We
this
do
is
this.
very,
We do this on purpose.
it's
To
an
make
act, guys. It's an act for
feels like
you.
this feels like the natural experience of coding.
Let's go step by step. Martin, let's go
Ah,
step by step. Can you open a new? No, wait. Can you open a new tab
Yeah, yeah.
on Playground? And can you run? There is an example that gives you your key hash.
Yeah, I have
So
those.
let's hard code that. Let's go step by step for new people to understand what's
Is
going
it,
on actually, because there is code that
is
we
it
are not explaining.
is it part of the examples? Otherwise, I have to copy it from the.
Yes, close to the multisig ones because it's actually a tool for multisig experiments. There.
This one, right? Well, share your public key information.
You know which one for sure will work is the advanced DApp
Examples.
connector.
It's
We'll
share.
give you everything, but yeah.
Yeah, also exactly. Good one, Gabe. At the end of this script, when you run this, you will get on the results your staking, your spending and staking key hashes.
So I'm now in a workspace. Is that a problem?
No.
It's always the same, right? You always get the root.
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. Get staking public key. Probably it's going to get your main address. Yeah. Maybe the answer that gave
Let's see.
you is the best.
Let's see if we have like a difference.
Okay. Because Gamechanger is like imagine like a NAMI wallet that can have like multiple addresses, right? You can serve Cardano through different addresses. You can be standing with the UI of the wallet. The user interface can be showing you the balance of one of the addresses you can have, right? But Gamechanger always is sitting on just one address. It can handle multiple addresses of different types, even multi-sig wallets, but always one at a time. For what? For making it easy for the apps to connect and to understand what's going on. So there are two different ways to. I mean, there are a lot, but there are two main ways to get your public key hashes. One is to ask for your main address key hashes, the address of the key hashes that you probably will find on NAMI, right? Very simple. This first address that you find, for example, on NAMI or other wallets alike. But then, if you, like Martin, has child addresses and some other workspaces right now involved, there is another way to grab your key hash, which involves decoding the address involved, which is a very like versatile way of getting your key hash.
Yeah, in this case, it didn't matter. It's both the same key. It
Oh my
doesn't
God.
matter in which. Didn't matter in which workspace I was. I guess this time.
That word means something in Spanish. The CA word. I cannot tell you guys what that means. Sorry, it's not a fancy word at all. It's a
So,
Spanish.
is this spent key? Is that my pub key hash hacks, right?
Not the spend. You have to pass the stake because all this stuff on Cardano is always attached to your staking.
So that's the account thing, right?
Yeah. It's it has to do with staking power you have.
So now I'm going to run it again.
Okay, now we're talking. Now it should work. Let's cross fingers.
Yes. Governance is go.
Gabe, don't translate that.
What?
That word from the key hash.
Voting demo. What am I exporting? Wait. Mode. Let's return everything.
Yeah, but it's the same. Almost the same. Yeah, but you're good. That worked. The missing thing to clarify, the issue, the syntax error there was that it was missing the key hash of the wallet involved that wants
Right.
to delegate the voting power. So if
But-
Martin goes to cache there, status,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
status, some cache,
I can see here
the
Stage
result
zero.
of exactly.
Yeah.
The,
So
the result
if
after that property name, that variable, if we want variable name, the
yeah,
results
so
of
that we
the
can use.
generate certificate function is the like the C word is the an hexadecimal representation of the data structure that is this certificate.
I like it. But we can automate what we just did. We can automate it a little bit because this pubkey hash is always the same, right? We could do what we just did.
And this is, you will think that this is stupid, that makes no sense, or I mean, there is a minor programming weird thing that these crazy dudes are doing on the screen. But when Martin finished this, I will tell you a little story that will make you open your eyes.
So I
Very
want
powerful thing.
get spending. I need this key, and I want to add it as a stage here because I need it.
Okay, perfect.
Stake credential. Thank you.
Now, very, very quickly, Martin, you can just run step by step to see what's the output of that function. To know what to copy paste. I mean,
Yes.
copy paste. To know what property to reference. So
Yeah.
for those who don't know, you can run this script step by step, so you can debug every time the memory, the context of this script.
So
now
we can see the status.
there is
Nothing.
nothing. But next step, after the password, next. Now, good.
So we have the stake credential,
Uh-huh.
and we have the pubkey hex and the hash hex. I guess we need this one, right?
The pubkey hash X one.
Yeah. Because that is actually the same key. Ending in 638. Yes. Same.
Perfect.
Okay. So we copy this data. We can do the next step. That will just add the next stage. Close. So we have this data. And then we have the get function.
Exactly. What Martin is going to do now, until now, that piece of code that you're watching, which is this GC script DSL language, is like HTML. It's nice. You have your elements, your functions that do some wallet stuff, wallet related stuff, but there is missing some flexibility there. You need ways to connect, for example, the result of one function to the inputs, to the arguments of the subsequent functions. For example, something very basic on a lot of languages, without nesting too much, because we don't like nesting. So what Martin is doing right now is attaching there a tiny piece of code, which is called ISL, as in inline scripting language, which looks like a lot like JavaScript. It's like a subset of JavaScript. And one of the most used functions on Gamechanger scripts, these scripts, is this ISL function called get. That what actually is doing is just doing this copy paste that Martin did initially. It's just automatically passing the key hash, or I mean the stake key hash of this current user wallet automatically as an argument to the certificate function, the function that creates the voting certificate.
Cool. Now we have our certificate. Awesome. That's it, right?
Okay, wait. Just
Voting
very-
no confidence.
I mean, perfect, Martin. You nailed it there. So now, this is the big difference with CIP30 wallets. This is the big story behind what we was trying to do here. This is a tiny little piece of software that you need to solve every time you interact with Cardano. You need to somehow grab some user I don't want to say private, but yeah, like private or some user-specific information, like the key hash of the wallet of the user, and use it to do something on Cardano. On other wallet designs, like CIP30, the most common wallet design on Cardano, the user is all the time exposing this hash somehow to the apps, all the time, leaking information that could be private, because maybe the user don't want to leak any information to the DRep. So the magic behind this plumbing between functions that we have done with ISL and JavaScript allows you to build privacy-preserving applications. Because until now, for doing this, this DApp, if this is going to be triggered from a DApp, does not need to know the key hash of the user, because automatically the script has plumbed, with plumbing, I mean, has connected, linked these two functions, and it's happening on the wallet, not on the DApp. This is privacy-preserving coding. This is Web3. Sorry.
And because it happens on the wallet, but the wallet is actually running in your browser, so it's not sending any information to the Gamechanger server or anything like that. Just so you know.
Exactly. Looks like a minor thing, but when you start realizing that you can make payments, that you can run Plutos, and you can do a lot of stuff without letting the DApp know anything about you as a user.
I'm missing something.
That was delayed. That was supposed to be for your pitching of Gamechanger, not your mistake.
I made a mistake. Ha 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 ha.
We understood.
Love it.
was just-
Adriano, so we have now our information, and
Yes.
you could what sometimes you do, you just send one ADA to yourself, or something like that, right?
Yes, of course you can. Of course, you cannot. I mean, you can include the payment or not. Initially, you start coding this way, so you can keep that, but you don't need to. I mean,
I don't need.
Yeah,
I can
actually,
delete this one.
actually, let's do a very funny experiment. Very quickly, don't lose time. Very quickly, erase everything inside the TX argument and just hit run. You can erase everything inside the TX. Exactly. And run that.
Yeah, I can't because there's something wrong.
There
You mind zooming in a bit?
Something is there is a comma or something missing. There, you can run now.
Yeah.
If you run this will work. But this transaction is empty. Yes. If you're paying for the fee, you have some inputs, and because Gamechanger, unless you provide the inputs on your own, Gamechanger will automatically select inputs for you for your transaction. So this is valid. It's a transaction that does absolutely nothing. It just pays for the fee.
Can you do that? You can send transactions with only a fee, no outputs.
Yeah, of course. Because the word transaction, at least on Spanish, it's confusing and it involves like a sort of payment or something. The truth is that you can just make hollow transactions. The only thing you need to do is to pay for the fee, the network fee. And because of that, you will have to consume some sort of inputs or something where you can grab this balance for the fee. But just that's valid.
Okay, I like it.
Gave Cube.
If it's more simple, I like it.
Yeah, in Bitcoin, they actually exploit that. Some of the miners will put empty transactions because, right, the nonce they're trying to solve is dependent upon the previous hash and the transactions they're including. Well, if you know your transactions are empty, you can predict the hash of that. So, right, the blocks themselves can be empty of transactions also, right? So the Cardano blockchain is approving blocks, but they don't have to be filled with transactions. So the same thing kind of happens with your transactions. It doesn't necessarily have to have outputs and things of that nature. You're essentially just signing an empty container of data and paying to extend the ledger is what your transaction fee is literally doing, which is literally you signing a transaction and validating that on the ledger. But yeah, you're actually facilitating nothing, but you are using the blockchain to validate that you interacted with the blockchain. But yeah, even your blocks don't have to contain transactions.
Interesting. Not happening too much on mainnets, but that's right good. And the thing is that on UTXOs models where you are consuming inputs all the time from previous outputs, where these inputs depend on previous transactions, you are always facing different hashes. Because imagine something like this on a staking, on an account model. Actually, you could replicate transaction hashes, right? But because the inputs are always different, coming from different transactions, those bytes that reference to those inputs, those bytes change the new hash of the new transaction. Therefore, that you always have a different transaction hash. A nice experiment to do would be to register a stake key. Like a stake credential, or grab some, make a withdraw from your stake, stake rewards, and fund transactions with that without inputs. Which I'm not sure I should know this, but I think that maybe you can create valid transactions, grabbing balance from there to pay for the fees. if Cardano allows this, we are screwed probably. No, we are screwed because there is no, I mean, there is a very clear way to create deterministic hashes where you know ultimately the hash that you will be creating. Yeah. Yeah.
Adriano, don't say too much. Don't bring down the blockchain. Huh? That's
No, come on. If it fails, it needs fixing. It's not my fault. It won't. It won't fail. It won't fail. But yeah, it's worth trying.
I added the sign stage just to keep going, and yeah, we have now a signed transaction also in the cache, which is great.
To clarify, the plumbing used for that trick to pass as an argument the key hash has been used for example, building the transaction and then passing this raw transaction and signed transaction to the signing function, which attaches the signatures from the user to make this transaction valid. The same plumbing, the same ISL scripting, the inline scripting language with this famous get function used for for this plumbing to connect the parts. Once again, everything happening on wallet side. This is the power of wallet scripting. This is what wallet scripting allows you to do on Web3, which is a lot, and a lot of privacy preserving properties, and also auditability. Here you have the full intent of the DRep expressed under the same code. Otherwise, you have the intent, split it between 2-3 parts: the back and the front, this and that, here, there, which is a mess to audit and to fork and to replicate. Here, and Gabe can tell the story. Here, I can grab this code, just modify a tiny bit of it, like I want to attach a DRep there, not the no confidence vote, and that's it. I can reuse Martin's code. And Gabe, then he can tell the story because he created a nice cure code for delegating voting power to he's a DRep, so delegating power to him.
Cool. I'm submitting, so that's it. We've done
Okay,
it.
let's check if the transaction is valid. But yeah, I think it is. Should be.
I think we did an hour.
There is a problem, Martin. Yes, the transaction is valid, but I mean the hollow transaction is valid. You have not passed the certificate.
What?
Check the line
No.
24.
You were right. What happened?
I told you to raise it. It's my fault.
I did. Oh, you're so right. We were almost there. I was following you too literally.
But it's good. I mean, the nice thing about live coding is that we can say all these tips that they're always. I mean, these are the stories that are missing when one reads the documentation. We're missing all these tiny things that make this I don't know, more interesting.
Let's try this again.
This is why I it's not because I don't know. It's not a self-esteem thing like but when people say just another wallet, no, it's not another wallet because you can do this.
I'm not saying.
It's
I've never heard anybody say that. By the way.
It really cares for a lot of Web3 values, where others maybe not. So it's yeah, it's okay. Let's check the error. Do you know, guys, how to read the error? Why this transaction is broken? It's not valid. You can just put the mouse the cursor there, and it's going to appear. Or you can
Right.
click on the transaction and explore it. But what it's saying there, I cannot read.
Unknown stake credential.
There is no stake credential.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check if this spamming works. Maybe there is something wrong. You can check the console also of the script. Maybe there is a warning there saying to you, hey, this is not valid ISL, or I'm not getting the right values. Also, you can check the cache memory. That's a good one. Check if everything is getting.
Seems to me to be correct, but I'm getting that certificate in there.
But what was the exact issue? The wording of the error? Maybe you can share the error to the chat. Sorry, but it was very little on the font
Oh
size.
yeah, sorry. I will do it again.
You can maybe zoom in a bit for the live coding. That would be useful, probably.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh yes, people was missing this. There are a lot of things that can happen regarding certificates. One of the things that is very common is that you are trying, for example, to delegate stake power, which was not registered prior.
It could be that this wallet is not. I don't think I'm delegating to any pool at the moment.
Maybe then the error message was telling you that. This is why. I mean, let's read it again.
I think that is that's probably correct.
Which is,
But
this
yeah,
is
it's pre-production. I'm not going to register stake pools on pre-production. Makes no sense.
this is
for me.
very common with certificates. Also, when you are delegating to a pool, it happens a lot. Okay, let's see. Can you maybe you can open the transaction on a new tab? That would give us more control on the error message. You can. Okay, you can do that also. That's exactly what I was saying to you. The transaction references to an unknown stake credential. For example, to delegate stake pools, you must first register the stake. Okay, let's do a trick. Let's do a trick. For this case, it's going to work, but subsequent runs won't, because you can register just once. Then you need to deregister to register again. So the registration of the stake key is actually another certificate. So why don't we bundle on the same transaction atomically the two certificates? First, the one that registers in that order first, and then the delegation. So,
but is it possible to? Is it easy in Gamechanger to register to a stake pool on pre-production?
yes, yeah.
Isn't
You
that
can just
more?
do the delegation, and that's it.
Pseudo, what's your opinion?
So we don't need to stake to an SPO. We need to have the credential that allows us to stake to an SPO. So I think that's the thing right here is we just need to create that credential that is used to identify a delegator to a SPO, right? So that's what the SPO sees as far as someone delegating is that certificate is delegating to them, right? So which is associated with an address. So all you need to do is create that certificate. We don't even need to stake to the SPO.
Exactly. Exactly, Gabe. That's the case. I don't know if Martin wanted to do it easily through the UI, quickly, or
Yeah,
because
that was my. Oh, we can go here to do that.
yeah. Also, you can just copy the certificate that you built, modify it to just be a registration certificate, and add it to the transaction, which ultimately will teach people how to do it by code.
Yeah, both is fine.
Okay. You can just copy that certificate, the entire block.
This one,
Make two certificates
sure. Let's make
there,
two.
and change that name, of course. Instead of delegate, put like register, something like that. To clarify, once again, this is arbitrary naming, what Martin is typing right now. So you can type bananas, whatever you want, and it's on you.
Exactly.
This
This can be
This
bananas.
is to self-document your code. It's on you. It's not any reserved keyword or anything.
So the certificate is in this case not vote delegation, but different.
Yes, in that case, is stake registration. Is if I'm not mistaken. You can try if it complains, but it's stake registration.
Short.
Cert kind. I mean, one of the kind on there you have that on the tops, up.
Oh, this one. Stake registration. Yeah,
Perfect, exactly.
that's a
Sorry.
coincidence. Oh, that's the first one. Yeah, this is part of what we have just done. Correct. Where was I? Somewhere here.
I just wanted to comment too. The beautiful thing about Gamechanger is we could have scripted out every single one of those steps in a single GC script, correct?
Exactly. Thanks, Gabe. Yes, that's right. That's right. Every script can receive arguments. Then you can parameterize every single piece of code you create to receive arguments and to return, the results you expect, you want to return, which helps you create better, VApps in that regard. You can just make like modules. You can, Gabe, what you said is it was the intention behind GCFS, because now you have arguments, you have these GC script models, you can store them as files, and then anybody can reference and can load that script stored forever on chain, a mutable code signed with cryptographical credentials. And yeah, you have a GitHub on chain and npm on chain to use. Yeah. Thanks for that input. Have you ever played before with GCFS, Gabe?
So yeah, that's the next thing is one of the things I would like to do is have it to where you don't need a website to facilitate transactions, right? But the problem is maintaining control over those policy IDs. So making sure a specific address is signing in the minting of these assets. So yeah, just finding out how to leverage that. But then, maybe those scripts, once they're finalized, and those contracts will be stored as GCFS NFTs, which people can then reference, right? So now instead of having a website, I have a QR code that references transactions built on that. And like you said, I don't need to pay for a website to facilitate transactions now. I have a QR code, right? So I definitely see the implementation I could possibly use. I'm not there yet, but working towards it. I see the vision, but yeah.
Let's let's have some calls, or let's continue. Why don't we grab this space to help you there doing all that stuff? Because that what you're doing is what I like to call open protocols. Like you're creating like a protocol, right, with arguments and some defined actions inside each of these scripts or models, and then you're running those with or without a front end. Ultimately, what you're doing is doing the most novel web-free design you can do with your protocol, with your system, because one day maybe you won't be there. One day your front end will go offline. One day maybe you update your front end and the version 2 or the version 3 won't support version 1, version 2 of the protocol. You will be leaving a lot of people behind. If